Good evening, everyone, or good morning, wherever you are. Please let me know if you can hear me clearly. Thank you very much. As you can see, I'm on site now. I'm at this ruin in The Hague. They built a road and a tram line, tram rails between it. So I'm just over here. I came here on my bicycle. It's a bit quiet over here. Good for me to do the live stream. So everyone can hear me clearly. Okay, that's good. If necessary, I'll put on my hoodie if there's too much wind. Now, as a teacher, it is my responsibility to transfer knowledge onto you in such a way that will benefit you in the long run. I cannot make you receive it, but but for those who are willing to receive, it's my responsibility to transfer the knowledge onto you in a beneficial way that will benefit you in the long run. And that means I have to call things out. If there's anything you're doing that sabotages yourself, then I need to call you out on it. That's the only way this is going to work. You cannot become better unless you do better. What you do affects you. For example, let's say you are smoking. Let's on this. Let's say you're smoking. You're not smoking in the presence of others and force them to deal with your smoke. You're polite, you're gonna go to smoking areas, but what you're doing affects you. If you want to be better, you need to figure out why am I smoking? What is it about me that makes me want to smoke so much? So because before you used to ignore things, you used to run away from things. And so that smoking addiction is a way to run away from something you don't want to face. So you are running away, and that's why you added out this addiction, that's smoking. So even if you would stop smoking, the smoking was a symptom of you fleeing. So you have to face yourself and admit that you're fleeing. Then you need to admit that then you need to question yourself, what am I fleeing from? So what you do affects you mentally as well as physically. And also what you do affects other people. But let's keep other people out of it now. Let's talk only about you. What you do affects you. Look, if you put yourself in danger over and over again, you become numb to the warning signals your body is giving to you. That's why you have people that it seems like they have no stability inside. They do things that put themselves at harm's way. For example, they would walk down the street, they don't even check the stoplights. They'll just walk in traffic. And people think, well, what are you doing? You may get hit by a car or whatever. Why? Because such people are used to doing dangerous things. They used to go against their own bodily warning signals. So at some point, they became numb to it. So what they were doing harms them in the long run. When you refuse to self reflect, but you keep blaming other people, listen, whether those people are to blame or not is irrelevant. Let me tell you, whether those people are to blame or not is irrelevant. Let's say someone neglected you or someone did you wrong. They are to blame for the bad effect they had on you. But listen, you remaining in the blame mode towards them is not going to benefit you. It's going to harm you because now you remain in a victim state. Remaining in a victim state means you remain vulnerable for further attacks or further victimization to happen to you. I mean, if someone points a gun at you, are you gonna keep standing there screaming, "Oh shit, there's a gun on me, help!" No, you're going to run away. You're going to duck down or whatever. I mean, if someone points a gun at you and they shoot, you're going to run away, or you're going to throw some object at them. You're going to just stand there and cry that they point a gun at you. Are you kidding me? Or if someone tried to rape you by jumping on you, are you going to stay there crying and screaming? No, you're going to run away, or you're going to throw an object at them, whatever. You get me? As simple as that. You're not going to just stay in a position that makes you, let's say, if you're in a dangerous situation, you admit it and you get out of the situation. You're not going to keep yourself in the danger and complain that you're in danger. What the heck is that? The same way, if you do not want to self reflect nor face things in life, you are harming your own mind. Simple as that. And you cannot harm your own mind and get away with it. You'll harm, it will affect both you and everyone you're involved with. Simple as that. Now, There is a type of self sabotage that we tend to do, but we don't realize it's self sabotage. We do not. So, what is the self sabotage I'm talking about? It's a behavior that we learned by society. So, it's not something we just did out of the blue, it's something society taught us, whether it was through your parents or people at school or someone you met later in life or someone from TV. So, beware what you watch on TV. Just beware. Um, Words are alive, please. Beware with what you're saying in the live chat, please. Just be constructive what you're saying. Look, what I'm pointing out here is that we have this attitude in which we get impressed when things go well in life. Now, I want you to consider this for a moment. People get impressed when things go well in life. Hold on a minute. Let me ask you a question. If you live in Greenland, you know that big island between Iceland and Canada, that big island covered with snow for the most part, that belongs to the Kingdom of Denmark, is Danish territory. So Greenland is not an actual independent country; it's a part of Denmark. If someone is in Greenland, and let's say they are on it's their vacation, they've never been to Greenland before. They're just there on a vacation to check Greenland, and they are in a helicopter or in an airplane going over Greenland. Is it proper for them to be impressed by all the ice, all the snow in Greenland? Let me know in the live chat. If someone is on a vacation in Greenland and they are, is it logical and natural for them to be impressed by all that snow around? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know. I'll give you a half a minute to answer. Is it proper for someone who didn't grow up in Greenland to be there and to be impressed by how beautiful all the snow is around there? Let me know. Let me know in the live chat. I got one answer. What does the rest say? Someone who's on a vacation in Greenland, and it's the first time they saw all that snow covering large plots, kilometers of land. Yes, they should be impressed because snow you only see if it's snowing and you see snow covers the area, or you may see snow on mountains if you live near the mountains. But I see to see thousands of acres covered with snow and it's so beautiful, you should be impressed. Okay, let me ask another question. Let's say um, someone grew up in Cuba, okay, and they are impressed that there's a hurricane coming, and but they grew up in Cuba. They're an adult, so they're beyond age eight. They're beyond 18. Is it proper for an adult, someone that grew up in Cuba, they weren't born there and moved away, they grew up there. Is it proper to be impressed by a hurricane coming? Let me know in the live chat. What do you think? No, of course not. Because he grew up in Cuba. Cuba has a hurricane season every year. So if someone is from Cuba and they're so shocked that there are hurricanes coming, you're thinking, hold on, are you in your right mind? Do you need help? Do you need to go see a psychiatrist or whatever? Come on, man, you grew up in Cuba. Or were you locked up your whole life in a basement? What is going on with you? It's every year there are hurricanes coming over here. Well, you get where I'm going with this. You're only impressed if something is a rare occasion. If something is a rare occasion, or if something happens all of this time, it's quite different than before, it's only then you get impressed. There's nothing wrong with being impressed. Being impressed is natural. You know what I mean? But here's the thing: if you're impressed by something, that means that thing you're impressed by is something that's rare. And let me tell you, there are a lot of people out there who are impressed when things go well in life. And they don't sit down and think, well, on a minute, if I'm impressed with things going well in life, should life always go well? For example, some people are impressed when they get gifts on their birthday, when people make efforts to give them gifts. Now, think about it. Those people only receive gifts either on Christmas or on their birthday, or maybe some other, or maybe on a national holiday. For example, in America, maybe on the 4th of July or whatever, or Thanksgiving. But think about it. You have 365 days in a year, okay? 365 days, around 52 weeks. And people are impressed by maybe 5 or 10 days spread over 365 days in which they get gifts from others. Now, I don't think we should give you gifts every day, but shouldn't people on a regular basis shouldn't they on a regular basis be showing their appreciation of you? Why is it only this, that you have to wait special occasions during the year for people to show value towards you? Listen, if a narcissist is kind towards you, and it's only around the end of the month when people get the salaries that you know, oh, likely want some money from me. Or if you have a narcissistic husband or narcissistic wife, and the only time they're kind towards you is when they want to push for sexual intercourse, you know they're using you. You're not going to feel good. Yet, for some reason, worldlings are conditioned to be okay with being treated human on occasion. Most people are okay, and I dare to say this based on observation for years, even before I got my degrees. When you look at society, people are conditioned to be okay with being treated human once in a while on special occasions during the year. Now, that's a red flag. And now, when you are impressed because things go well in life, that means you are denying that things are not going well all the other times. That means all the other times things are going bad. Things aren't good. But if things are bad, why don't you admit things are bad? Because in the past, you have experienced when you admit things were bad, others would turn on you. Others want to hear it, or they would blame you. And because you don't want to go to that trauma again of people just abandoning you or blaming you or gaslighting you, that's why you suppress the knowledge that things aren't so good. So when things are good, you're so happy finding things are good. That's where this impression comes from. Now, don't get me wrong. You should be happy when things go well in life. Absolutely. You should be grateful, but you shouldn't be impressed because life should be going well all the time. Do you follow me now? So, if people get impressed by things going well in life, that means that they are not stable psychologically. As I told you before, things should go well every day, all days of your life. Yes, there will be some difficulties here and there, but things should go well all the time. If you get impressed by happy moments, that means that you're similar to a junkie looking for a next high. Because let me tell you, there's not much difference between a drug addict and many of the common people out there. The difference is that the drug addict is not managed. That's why they become. That's why their addiction escalates like that, and they become homeless or whatever. Most other people, their escapes are managed by what we call society. That's why they don't end up like that. So, if you, for example, ended up addicted to drugs, or you end up an alcoholic, or addicted to porn, or whatever, then you won't. At some point, you need to say, okay, something's wrong with me. Okay, you admit something's wrong with you. That's a victory. That's a courage. Admit something's wrong with you. Then you realize, wrong with how come I became so messed up? I was born as a little baby. I didn't come out of my mother's womb craving porn or craving drugs or being violent, whatever. So once you realize, okay, something went wrong with me down the road, that you need to admit, okay, but who raised me? Where did I grow up? That means that the environment around you failed you. Now look, I'm not saying this to give you an excuse to remain dysfunctional. But the moment you admit you're dysfunctional, you did your part. That means you're not open for solutions and work on solutions. But you still need to admit that you didn't become dysfunctional all by yourself. Okay, you had your own play, your own role in it with the decisions you made, whether it was taking a drug or getting involved with that toxic individual. So you had your own part in it, but it isn't you who just made yourself toxic like that. You didn't bring forth yourself. So at some point, you have to admit others had a bad effect on me without being aware of it. Okay, it's on to me now to look for better, but they had no right having a bad effect on me. So at some point, you need to admit that people neglected you or that people failed you. As simple as that. I know what the big problem of a lot of people is. They don't dare to admit that people either failed them or neglected them. Because once they admit that people neglected them, that means that the people around them are not good people. That means the people around them are toxic. And then it's like, oh my God, maybe I have toxic traits too. If they admit people around them failed them, then they need to admit, okay, that means that the people around me were dysfunctional. They were not bad people, they were dysfunctional. But then you'd ask if they were so dysfunctional and so many people dysfunctional, oh my God, so many people are dysfunctional? Yes, so many people are dysfunctional. So what I'm saying is that a lot of people don't dare to admit this. And sometimes when you admit that people neglected you or failed you, even if it's a proven fact, people still turn on you because nobody wants to admit that the world they invest in, the world they want to be part of, is toxic or bad. Because let me give an example. Let's say you have um, this company that you want to work at because they offer jobs with high salaries. So you apply there to get the job, and finally you got the job. You're so happy I got the job, I'm going to earn good money. Then suddenly scandals come out that the CEO of the company was involved with raping little boys or whatever. Now, you were so happy that you got the job. You're going to earn a good money. You're going to make a career in the company. And now this scandal comes out. Now the scandal comes out when you ruin the company. But here's the thing: you are not part of the company. So if it goes wrong with the company, it will go wrong with you. So because you invest in a company, you don't want to hear about any scandal. You want to cover it up. So if anyone makes a scandal, you may either attack them or try to ridicule them because you're invested in this company. Well, let me tell you, that's how society is. Everyone that's invested in society, they don't want to admit the state of society is not what it's portrayed to be. So when you show that society harmed you or society neglected you, they don't want to hear it, they don't want to see it, because that means that they are willingly part of something that causes harm. And they don't want to be held responsible for that. They don't want to be blamed. They don't want to feel guilty. They don't want to be guilty. They just want to escape. And society is the way they escape collectively. That's why there are people who always try to gaslight you and blame you when something bad happens to you. Even though it's obvious you were the victim, they will still blame it on you because they are invested in the perpetrators. Because they want to get benefits from the perpetrators. That's why. Maybe someone went missing, and the individual that went missing was someone a lot of people couldn't stand. And now the individual went missing 10 years ago, and now the body is found. Now a lot of questions need to be answered in the community. If you just moved to that place and you just got married over there, you don't want this to come out because now you have unrest in the community where you are living. What I'm saying is that in society, a lot of people don't want to face the fallenness of mankind. They don't want that. So when you hold society accountable, they will either dismiss it or they will re-victimize you by by lying on you or setting you up, or even try to trick you to be arrested to go to prison, or they will actually physically disable you by cutting off body parts or kidnapping you, torturing you, whatever, or they'll flat out kill you. Of course, they won't do this too openly, but that's how it works. Or they will push people, some criminals do it for them. That's how far people will go. So understand, you being impressed that things going well in life is a red flag. And let me tell you one thing. That is why so many of you were hoovered by narcissists. Let me tell you why so many of you were tricked by reprobates. Let me tell you why so many of you were sucked in over and over again by satanic tricks, by satanic games. Let me tell you why. Because this thing of being impressed with things go well, this is how Satan uses on you. Let's say you have a rough time in your life because things aren't going that well, things aren't going well at work, you may have difficulty paying rent, or maybe your wife's about to leave you, or your husband is cheating on you. I don't know, maybe things are going horrible in life. Now, at some point in your life, you know what? I'm in a bad situation. And once you admit you're in a bad situation, you have no choice but look for a solution. And there's the thing when you look for a solution, think about it. You didn't end up in that bad situation all by yourself. People allowed you to put yourself in that situation because people could have stopped you. They could have called the cops on you or have you arrested and put in a mental asylum if you were about to harm yourself. No, they sat back and watched you put yourself at risk. That means they're involved in what you're doing. They'll say, I'm not the one who told you to do that, but no, but they didn't stop you or they didn't put you in check. So they are responsible for how dysfunctional you became because they could have stopped it or halted it. They didn't. But they will stop you when they're upset, when they're offended. If they can stop you by calling the cops on you, or if they can stop you by walking away from you, if they can ghost you or unfriend you, whatever, if they can do all of that when they are so-called pissed off, why couldn't they do that on your behalf out of care for you? No, those people expect you to have care towards them and to consider them and have empathy towards them. They expect you to be human towards them. So their humanity is an obligation on you, but your humanity is an option. That's how they function. All right. So understand this: the moment you choose, you want better for yourself, you're breaking the cycle. Those other people who are part of you becoming worse, they've invested in you becoming worse. For example, maybe you were dating this broke ass man, and this broke ass man was not working. He was playing video games all day long, and he was bitching and complaining. You became like his second mother, kind of. And after Rob was talking, man, look at Joanna over there. Joanna has a man that doesn't work, he's lazy, and she's like his mom. What's Joanna thinking? Something's wrong with Joanna. They were all talking about you behind your back. They all felt good about it, saying, well, at least we have the common sense, blah, blah, blah. But in your face, they were good towards you. And when you complained about your husband being so lazy, they had sympathy for you. They had they actually had compassion on you. But why they had sympathy and compassion on you? Because the situation benefited them. They don't want to look at themselves and face themselves. So by you being in a worse situation than them, they could compare themselves to you and feel good about themselves. So they were also part of how you ended up with that narcissistic spouse. The moment they hear you divorced that man or you moved on, now they cannot rely on you anymore for their own mental stability. So now they try to reach out saying, oh, Joanna, why did you leave your husband? Well, we know he was a bad man, but please, you made wedding vows, just work it out. You remember you're a Christian woman and God hates divorce. They'll try to blackmail you to go back to the bad situation that you just got out of. Why? Because they were part of the bad situation. All right? That's why. And that's what I want to tell you. The moment you want better for yourself, because you realize things were going wrong, I guarantee you, society will retaliate against you. Whether you're a believer or unbeliever, doesn't matter. They will retaliate against you. I'm telling you. Now, some of you leave a bad situation. Maybe it's an ex-partner or an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, or ex-husband, ex-wife, or maybe it's a toxic parent. Maybe your mom and dad are reprobate and they keep harassing you and you don't want it anymore. Or maybe it's a job you left that was draining you. Whatever, you left a bad situation. Now, there's no way you'll ever go back to that bad situation. Okay, that's over. People know that. But what's going to happen now is that a lot of people now, they are facing backlash because their mental stability relied on you being worse off than them. So now in daily life, they have more difficulty concentrating, they have difficulty sleeping, they have difficulty relating to their own spouses, to their own children, to their own work. So now you have more people losing their mind in the community. Why? Because their mental stability relied on them being better off than you. So they were like vampires relying on you being worse off than them. So now let's say you left a job that was draining you, or you left a husband or a wife that was harmed, that was taking advantage of you. Within just several months, you will hear news reports of things getting worse in the place you just left. Maybe you left a company, or maybe you were fired. They fired you. You know, things going work getting worse over there. Or some people try to ask you to come back and you don't do it. Or maybe you left your neighborhood where you grew up, and suddenly you're here now. That all type of violent incidents in the neighborhood. So things are going to crash because they relied on you being worse. You were the scapegoat. You were the sponge that absorbed all their unrest. So now that you're not around as an energetic sponge anymore, all the unrest links around them and harms them. So they can't build themselves out anymore by you being the sponge and absorb their unrest. So this is going to happen. Evil spirits know that if the community crashes completely, it's going to force people to submit unto Christ. And the evil spirits want to be relevant. So evil spirits don't want you to recognize Christ. They want you to remain stuck in negativity. So the evil spirits will start an operation to trick you in another bad situation. And think about it, you just left a bad situation, and demons cannot stop you from leaving the bad situation. They can't. But what they will do is trick you in a worse situation, but you'll realize it's a worse situation because the demons will disguise the worst situation as a way out or as a solution. So maybe your husband was beating you, and you thought, fine, I'm waiting for the wife beat them. And now, within just a year, after you left that man, you meet this other guy who's so kind, so sweet, so tender towards you. Think, oh my God, I always waited for you. The guy asks you, wants to marry you. Think, oh yes. You're so overwhelmed that you found a man that treated you well because your ex-husband was treating you like shit. But what you don't know is that this guy is a warlock, and once he puts a ring on your finger, all hell's going to break loose. Or maybe hell will not break loose, but this guy's part of a satanic cult that kidnaps children, whatever. So before you know it, you're part of something you never want to be part of. So you went from bad to worse. And how did demons trick you into going from bad to worse? By giving you smooth success. And the smooth success made things easier for you. So you were so impressed with things going so easy. And that was a trap that led you in worse. Some of you came out of worse. You went from bad to worse. And you ask yourself, how did I end up here? Now you know why. Because when you left the bad situation, instead of healing and recovering, you were overwhelmed by the smooth success that followed. Now, when you leave a bad situation, of course, things going to go better with you, but you still have wounds and defects and dysfunctions that need to be processed. And a lot of people don't process their defects, they don't process their dysfunction, and they don't process their wounds. So what happens is they're still wounded, they're still dysfunctional, and they're still defective. They're just not in the bad situation where their dysfunction, defects, and wounds are used against them. Okay, so you may leave a dangerous situation, but if you're not healed and recovered, you will end up in a similar or worse situation. Simple as that. Simple as that. And that's what happened to a lot of you who are watching this. Or you may have seen it happening to other people. And that's what I'm telling you. Stop being impressed when things go well in life. Be happy when things go well in life. Rejoice when things go well in life. Be thankful and grateful when things go well in life. But don't be impressed. You shouldn't. Listen, if you meet a woman in your 30s and you say, oh, she's such an amazing woman, you can only think about how amazing she is. I would say, oh, it's so romantic, found the love of his life finally. You found the true one, or you found your twin flame. The world will praise that. I will tell you, dude, seriously, you're 35. You meet this woman who's 38, and you say, oh, she's so amazing, such an amazing woman. Oh, she's rare, but I found, whoa, 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 hold on. You're telling me you met this woman and she treated you so well. She's so amazing. Why so amazing that she treated you well? Hold on, you're 35. You mean to tell me you didn't encounter women before that treated you well? And you're 35, this woman treats you so well, and she's so amazing, and now you want to dedicate your whole life to her. See, she's your everything. You do everything for her. That sounds stupid. She's your everything? What? She's your everything. Where was she before the first 35 years of your life? Come on. Or maybe you're a woman. You meet a guy, and now your life's about the guy. You're so in love. It's all about pleasing that guy. The guy's so amazing, so good. Lady, Is that the first guy you met that was good, that was amazing, whatever? Are you kidding me? But no, you're so overwhelmed by how good things are going that you don't ask the question, hold on a minute. Why is this the first time in my life that things are going well like this? Whoa, that means there was investment in things going bad with me. Hmm. Who was invested in things going bad with me? I need to look at the people around me, the people that raised me, or I need to look at the environment. No, you just want to be left alone. You find that you're just relieved, and you're so happy with the relief. Things going so easy, going so well in life, and that's how Satan gets you. That's how Satan traps you. And so many of you, you keep falling for it. You keep falling for this satanic garbage. Why? Because you don't self reflect. And because you don't self reflect, you don't look at the bigger picture. You don't examine things. Wow. And listen to me. As a human being, as a human being, you are a social creature. You are a vulnerable and fragile social creature. Whether you're male or female, you are a social, vulnerable, and fragile creature. So you need. So we as human beings, we have to get along to be sane. You can't be sane and safe apart from the community. You are a community creature. Okay. So for things to go well with you, there must be compliance with the community. Okay. So if you figure out that things were not going well in your life, that means somewhere the community either neglected you or the community failed you. One of the two. And now, if the community refused to become better, if the community refused to improve, and they just make excuses for why they were neglectful or towards you, and one day out of the blue, they're so kind towards you, they admit they were wrong. Wow. Suddenly you get epiphanies of how wrong they were towards you. Okay, listen, people can improve. There are people out there who become better over time. It happens. So if people improve, be happy, rejoice, improve. Okay, if they were bad, worse in the past, listen, be happy they're better now. Look, the past is not irrelevant. The past had an effect on you, an effect you need to process. Okay, but if someone actually becomes better, rejoice in becoming better. Okay, don't hold the past against them, right? Because they're becoming better. But that's only when they're actually becoming better. A lot of people will fake becoming better just because they don't want the consequences of their bad behavior to haunt them. Maybe you have a guy right now who's who is this male feminist advocating against sexual harassment. Why is he so fierce against sexual harassment as a man? Because in his college years, he used to do a lot of those things. And now he has a family of his own and he has daughters growing up. Now it begins to haunt him. Every time he sees his daughters, it reminds him how he treated other women when he was younger. And it haunts him. So that to prevent himself from losing his mind, he becomes this fierce male feminist. Did he change? No. The only thing that changed is he don't realize he can't get away with just escalating on females sexually like that anymore. He can't just smash and dash, pump and dump anymore. Act like an asshole. Because he remembers they're assholes just like him walking out there were younger. And just like when he was younger, he smashed and dashed women. Well, somebody smashed and dashed his daughter. Then he has to deal with his daughter crying, coming home, Daddy, he dumped me or whatever. So just because someone advocates against bad behavior used to be involved with doesn't mean they become better people. Now, if they became better people and they advocated against the bad behavior they used to be involved with, okay, that's an improvement. But here's the thing: if they become better people, they will not be fighting their own past. They'll be pushing the better in the now. All right. But narcissists who just want to escape consequences of their own negativity, they will always fight past bad behavior, or they always fight bad behavior in others to make themselves look good. That's the only cover they have. And they do this to prevent others from seeing what they really are. Look, I'm not telling you to be how to say to be paranoid. I'm not telling you to be stuck in the past and to always use the past against people. All that, no. We should forgive and process so we can move on and live life. Absolutely. Just realize the following. Not everyone becomes better over time. A lot of people get worse, and they will cover up the worse they're becoming. Some will cover up the worse they're becoming by bringing you back in a bad situation. Here's the thing: they're getting worse. At some point, you can't hide the consequences of their backwardness anymore. So they're just upset you got away from their bad influence. Some people are upset you got away from their bad influence. Their bad attitude is now destroying them, and then they say you got away. So they're upset you're doing better off without them. They don't want to see you doing better without them. They want you to remain their victim so they can feel good about themselves. So when you do better without them, they'll try to hoover you. And let me tell you, some of you are not hoovered. Why? Because people in society will pick up that they can't fool you. You see right through them. That's why they don't hoover you. If people make the attempt to hoover you, it's because they see an opportunity to bring you back in a bad situation. And that's a red flag. If they don't hoover you, that's a good sign. But here's the thing: sometimes demons will hoover you by tricking other bad people to get involved with you. Demons will try that till the day you die. But then you'll notice it's different. Now, let me tell you, I don't care how good of a believer you are, how loyal you are to Christ. You being in a good condition does not guarantee the odds will become better. Let me repeat that. You being in a good condition will only guarantee you have a good impact on your environment. But it doesn't mean that automatically people will become better. Stop thinking you can save people or stop thinking you can make people better. No, you can't. The only folks you can make better are little babies by raising them to become honorable adults later on. If they're not little babies wearing diapers, then you can't change them for the better. Simple as that. They have to want to be better themselves. They have to give up the backwardness. Simple as that. You can motivate them and push them, but you can't actually make them better. You can't do that. Let me tell you one thing. The reason why a lot of people stay away from you after you're improving in life is because, listen, the way they treated you was wrong. The way they thought about you was out of order. They know it. But for them to admit this, then they also need to admit they're not reliable. When they admit not reliable, it means they will lose their leverage. A lot of people out there, they only have an image of being disrespectful individual. Let's say now that you moved into you came and you moved into an area, and suddenly some people didn't like you. Later, it was proven that you were an individual of quality. Suddenly, they all like you. Hold on. So they judge you based on their own relief. And because you didn't provide them relief, they turned on you just like that. Oh, but now they say, oh, we didn't like you at first, but you know what? We see you're do this and that now. They don't even tell you we're sorry for putting you in the negative daylight. We're sorry for meting evil upon you. It was wrong. We go into therapy and we want to be better human beings. They don't say that. They don't want to go that way. It's just that now they can't get away disliking you anymore because they try to set you up, it failed. So now they want you to have a sympathy on them, or they want you to have compassion on them. They don't want you, they will tell you, please, what we did wrong in the past is the past, but let's leave the past behind. Hold on. They were not willing to leave the past behind. They were willing to dislike you till the day you die. They were willing to take action against you to keep you their victims so they are at ease. Why did they consider your humanity? Where was their compassion towards you? Where was their sympathy towards you? Where was it? Where was it? Oh, because they just wanted to escape. They just wanted to put the negative focus on you so they could build themselves out. They just ignored your humanity. But now that things backfire, you need to consider they're human. Come on now. Come on. If they admit that they had a bad attitude towards you, all the other people in the life will say, okay, you didn't like him. Why? Because your will wasn't validated. Oh, so that means if one day I don't validate your will, you're going to turn on me too? Means you're going to think you have a right to endanger me too? You have a right to ignore my humanity too? The moment they admit this, the moment they admit the bad attitude towards you, they'll also be they will face backlash from all other people in their lives. Now, if they really want to become better people, they'll admit it to themselves and they'll actually improve. And they'll admit, you know what? If I get backlash, not I'm improving, so be it. Because I was one that was wrong anyway. They'll take ownership of it if they're really becoming better. But people that don't want to face themselves, that insist on escaping, they will always come with an excuse for what they did or what they didn't do. Because they don't want the backlash of having to admit that they're not trustworthy. They were not trustworthy. Because then everything they did is going to be questioned. Now, look, I'm not telling you to remain angry and to keep fighting and arguing with people. No, I'm not telling you to do that. But just realize not everyone becomes better people. Okay? You are a human being, you are a social creature. Okay? You can't operate without a community. No, because you will lose your mind. As a human being, you need to have bonds with other people. So if things go wrong with you or things were bad with you, the community either neglected you or they failed you. If they neglected you, it was on purpose. Simple as simple as that. So you can never just put all the blame and all responsibility on you. Where was the community? Well, I'm telling you, when you improve, expect retaliation against you improving. Simple as that. Some people will be so kind towards you out of the blue because they don't want you to improve. Because if you move away from them and you improve, it's going to be automatic backfire on them and they can feel it. So they either want you to die and then they go to your funeral and cry crocodile tears to close off the chapter and then they continue in their escape without facing backlash. Or if they can't get away with killing you or setting up to die, they will um, do their best to have a hold on you to keep you around so that they can prevent you from getting better. So they can always have you around to look down upon and to complain and bitch about behind your back because they don't want to improve. They don't want to face themselves. They don't even value themselves. So they don't want you to value yourself and move forward. You understand me? They do not value themselves enough to want better for themselves. That's their defect, but they don't want to face it. So they don't want you to value yourself and move away from them and become better. They will embrace you to keep you dysfunctional. Maybe you have some guys, you smoke weed with them all day long, smoking weed all day long, hang on the streets. They were so fond of you. Maybe not all those guys from the streets, because even they will tell you, man, we need to stop smoking weed all day long. Okay? Maybe it was your grandparents. Your grandparents always loved you when you came around. They would call you often while you were smoking weed in the streets. One day, you stopped talking to your grandparents for a while. And then, 3 years later, you tell them, Grandpa, Grandma, I got a bachelor's degree. It's signed outside of the phone. Grandma, Grandpa, are you there? They hang up. You try to call them back, they don't pick up. Next time there's a family gathering, they just walk away. And you think, what? Hold on a minute. When I was smoking weed all day long in the streets, wasting my life, my grandparents were so happy and fun to see me. I lost contact with them for a while. They didn't even make effort to contact me. And now that I made contact with them and shared the good news, I got a bachelor's degree, suddenly they hung up the phone and they stopped talking to me. What the heck is going on? Well, let me tell you, you improving looks bad on them because they were invested in you being worse off. All right? Now, let's say your grandparents expose themselves. But now you have other relatives who suddenly they tell you, man, don't worry about grandpa and grandma, they're out of their mind, they're old, leave them. They try to be extra kind towards you. Why? Because here's the thing. They were together with your grandparents invested against you. You were the family, you were the black sheep all along. But now they don't want you to figure out that they were involved in it because that's going to look bad on them. So now they want to bail themselves out by keeping you in dysfunction. They know you won't smoke weed all day long anymore, but they try to look, is there anything else about you that is functional that we can use against you to hold you back? And once they find something they can use to hold you back, they'll be as kind towards you to approach you. Simple. That's how it goes. But you would think, grandpa and grandma are so horrible people. They're narcissists. Oh, but these cousins over here, they're better. No, no, no. They're exactly the same. I mean, all those years you were smoking weed all day long and all of that. They always said, "Man, stay away from Kevin. Man, Kevin is a broke ass nigga. He won't get anywhere in life." They all got along, feeling good about themselves, looking down on you. And now that you did better, it all makes them look bad. So they want to have something else on you they can bitch complain about, because all the people they've complained about you two are going to say, Donovan, you've been complaining about Kevin all the time, but look at Kevin does better in life. Yes, you smoke weed all day long, doing not in life, but he improved. Okay, but why didn't you improve? So now they want to have something else on you that they can bitch complain about to distract people from seeing how backwards they are. Some people remain lifelong scapegoats. They remain in a bad situation as long as they live till the day they die. If they die prematurely or they die of old age, always being the energetic sponge absorbing the unrest and misfortune of the community. Some people are stuck in misfortune as a victim. Yes, they are the victim of the community, and the community wants to keep them as a victim so they don't have to face themselves. Some people remain lifelong victims. Even some believers remain lifelong victims, being stuck in those pagan churches. I do not want you to remain a lifelong victim. Absolutely not. Look, we rejoice when things go well in life. We are happy, we appreciate it, we're motivated when things go well in life, but we shouldn't be impressed. The moment you get impressed when things go well in life, hey, listen, you need help, you need counseling, you need therapy. Face it. There are things you haven't processed yet. As simple as that. Look, if people can comply now with things going well with you, why didn't comply in the past? Look, I'm not telling you to argue with people why they didn't comply in the past with things going well for things go well with you. But here's the thing: if they, as a group, didn't care about becoming better themselves, how can they be interested in things going well with you? And you know what? People in the world are comfortable with others not caring about them. Haven't you noticed that the people in the world are kind of comfortable with others not caring about them? There's something quite sick. A lot of people are okay with others not caring about them. What? So when they do encounter someone that cares, they're kind of, wow, someone cares. I mean, whoa, this ain't right. Look, when people don't want to face themselves, when they insist on escaping, the only reason they will comply in your favor is if they're forced, if they have no choice but to comply. Either the repercussions are haunting them, like have the ancient Egypt and had to let you go, like to let Pharaoh let the Israelites go, or realize, you know what, it's not in our best interest to keep doing this because we will make ourselves look bad. So now, just to make themselves appear better, they will treat you better. Okay, in any case, you should be happy and rejoice and be inspired when things go well in life. But you shouldn't be impressed. And realize you have wolves in sheep's clothing. Let me tell you, that's why I'm not being hoovered. Now, demons try to hoover me from time to time. They won't stop, but I don't care about these losers. Humans don't hoover me. They don't even try it because they can feel and sense that's not going to work over here. Rashid is way too smart for you guys to do that. Rashid is way too experienced. Rashid even feel ahead of time. There's something bad is coming. So let me tell you, demons will try to hoover you with bad situations as long as you live. We know that. But if people that are toxic are not hovering you, be happy. Be happy they're not hovering you. Because that means that you're improving. I'm talking about those who are actually walking by faith. If you're not improving and just go around in cycles, of course you won't hover you because hey, you're still their victim, you are still their punching bag, you're still their doormat, and you're still their scapegoat. Simple as that. If you're still their punching bag, why would they hoover you? You're still available. They only hoover you when you're about to leave and things about to backfire on them. Simple as that. Yes, we should be the bigger person and do what's best instead of doing what's right. Okay? Doing what's right can get you killed. Doing what's best is life saving. So Jesus is all about doing what's best. Satan is obsessed with doing with what's right. So doing what's right is not a biblical attitude. Doing what's best is. When you go to the Old and New Testament, God is always doing what's best, not what's right. Sometimes God will not do what's right, but He'll do what's best. And by the way, Gaia, by the way, Gaia is the name of a goddess and a Greek goddess, by the way. But anyway, we can pray for you. But I'm telling you, don't be too dependent on other people's prayers. Walk by faith yourself too and want to be better. Hold on. Hold on. Some people, even some believers become dependent on prayers. After there's difficulty, please pray for me. We can pray for you, we can assist you, but also be a participant in your own deliverance. Be a participant in solutions also. Thank you. All right. All right. Are there any questions about this topic? Let me know now, please. Let me know now. And by the way, I haven't had time to answer your comments and your questions yet, so that you left in the comment section. So please be patient. I haven't ignored you. I just didn't have the time to answer yet. Are there any questions about this topic? Let me know in the live chat. All right. Are there any questions? If there are no questions, I will shut down the live stream. This live stream, I'll be making some phone calls, fellowshipping through the phone. So I'll just wait for a minute more to see if there are any questions popping up. If you have no questions, you need to go now. You can go because the live stream, the class has ended. All right. Well, I don't see any questions over here. Thank you all for being here. Keep on with Christ. Be at peace, and please keep your eyes open. Shalom.